promised us a New Year's party, a celebration to welcome a fresh beginning. What awaited us instead was an ending, a closing of a door I could have never imagined, one I now know was never meant to be opened again. My name is Daniel, and my first year away at university reshaped me in ways I'm still trying to understand. It wasn't just the freedom. It was the deliberate shedding of a skin I'd worn in high school, a skin that felt too tight, too quiet. By the time winter break of my freshman year rolled around, I was a different person. Coming home to my parents' quiet suburban house felt like stepping into a museum of my former self. And New Year's Eve? It had transformed from a family tradition of sparkling cider and board games into a sacred, chaotic pilgrimage. It was the ultimate night for people like me to chase a feeling we couldn't name, in places we didn't know with people we'd just met. The promise was always the same. Something memorable. It was a promise that, on this particular night, would be delivered in the most horrifying way possible. The stage was set simply. My parents were at their own party, one filled with soft laughter and clinking wine glasses, a world away. In the echoing space of their home, I felt both like a guest and a ghost. I invited over the only two anchors to my old life, my best friends from high school. Let's call them Alex and Mark. We were a trio born more from shared proximity than deep passion, bound by the familiar streets of our hometown. We were, in the unkind but accurate words of others, a bit of a sad squad. The plan was our usual ritual: drink to accelerate time, and then stumble into whatever adventure presented itself. Alex, forever the digital optimist, had been talking to a girl he'd matched with on a dating app for a week. Her name was Chloe. Her profile was all smiles and city lights. She'd invited him, and by extension us, to a massive, epic party across town. The address was pinned, the promise was made, our plan was cemented. With a destination in hand, our drinking turned from idle to intentional. We were no longer killing time, we were arming ourselves for the night ahead. The liquor burned a familiar path: rum, then cheap beer, each round dissolving another layer of inhibition and judgment. We were loud in the silent house, our laughter echoing off family photos. Alex called a ride. The three of us tumbled into the back seat, a cloud of booze and cheap cologne. He showed the driver the address. "You sure about this?" the driver asked, his eyes meeting mine in the rearview mirror. "It's an industrial lot, not much out there for a party." Alex, buzzing with digital confidence, waved him off. "It's a warehouse rave, man. Underground. You know." The driver didn't know, but he shrugged and drove. The cityscape melted away, replaced by skeletal buildings and darkened factories. The festive glow of downtown was a distant memory. The car pulled to a stop. The building before us was a monolith of shadow and corrugated metal. It looked less like a venue and more like a place where things were stored or forgotten. A cold knot tightened in my stomach, but I dismissed it as pre-party nerves. We checked our phones. The maps agreed. This was the place. Before we could voice our doubt, Alex's phone buzzed. A text from Chloe. "You hear? Big gray building. Door on the left is open." The timing was instant, as if she was watching. Alex flashed us the screen. "See? It's legit." The ride pulled away, its taillights vanishing like the last ember of a sane world, leaving us alone in the vast, silent darkness of the parking lot. We stood there for a full minute, the cold December air biting through our jackets. We made the weak jokes people make when they're afraid. "We could call another ride," Mark said, his voice trailing off. But the social contract of the night was binding. To turn back was to admit cowardice. to betray the unspoken vow of the adventure. We moved toward the building. A man stood beside it, not leaning, just standing. He was immense, a silhouette against the faint light from within. He didn't speak as we approached. Alex said, "Party?" The man simply inclined his head, a single slow nod, and gestured with a thick hand for us to enter. No smile, no welcome. We filed into a narrow, concrete-lined throat of a hallway. The air was thick with the smell of damp concrete and something else, something metallic and sour. A single cage bulb dangled from a wire far ahead, casting long, dancing shadows. From beyond it, we could feel the sub-bass of music more than hear it, a deep, rhythmic thumping that vibrated in our teeth. This was it. The party. We moved forward, drawn by the promise of light and sound. What we found when we emerged from the hallway defied every expectation of what a celebration should be. The space was cavernous, a hollow chest of a building. The music was loud, but it was a canned, repetitive electronic grind, devoid of joy. The only lights were two malfunctioning strobes that spasmed irregularly, freezing the scene in jarring, disconnected snapshots. In one flash, a group of three men standing perfectly still, staring at a wall. In the next, a lone figure sitting on an upturned crate, head in hands. There were perhaps 25 people in a space meant for hundreds. They were spread out like islands, no two groups interacting. No one danced, no one laughed. Most chilling of all, as my eyes adjusted, there were no women. None. The entire crowd was male, and their attention, as the strobe flashed again, was now turning toward us, the new arrivals. "This is weird," Mark whispered, his voice swallowed by the noise. We shuffled to a corner, trying to look casual, trying to belong. The feeling of being watched was a physical pressure. I nudged Alex. "Text her." "Where is she?" He fumbled with his phone. The reply came fast, too fast. Back section, through the double doors. "Come meet me." Alex pointed toward a pair of metal doors, propped open with bricks, leading to another even darker hallway. "She's back there." My every instinct screamed. This was wrong. This was a trap. But the logic of the drunk and the proud is a powerful force. "We'll just peek," Alex said, his bravado thin. "If she's not there, we bail. Promise." He led, and we followed, a line of doomed ducklings. This new hallway was lined with doors, small numbered rooms that might have been offices once. The music was muffled here, replaced by the sound of our own breathing and the scuff of our shoes on concrete. We were halfway down when a door to our right flew open. A man, wiry and frantic, erupted from it. He didn't look at Mark or me. He went straight to Alex, grabbed his shoulder, and pulled him close, whispering directly into his ear. The act was so intimate, so violent in its suddenness, that we froze. Alex's eyes went wide, then clouded with pure confusion. "What? What do you mean?" he stammered. The man didn't repeat himself. He just shoved Alex backward, gave us a look of sheer panic, and hissed, "Go. Now," before ducking back into the room and slamming the door. The spell broke. "Out. Get out," Alex said, his voice low and urgent. We turned and power walked back the way we came. As we re-entered the main chamber, the atmosphere had shifted. The islands of men were no longer separate. They were coalescing, their attention fully, uniformly locked on us. The path to the exit was clear, but a large man, different from the doorman, detached himself from a group and moved to block the hallway to the front door. He didn't speak. He just stood, arms crossed. Alex didn't break stride. "Move," he said, his voice cracking. The man didn't. So we moved through him, a clumsy shoulder-barging rush. As we broke past, he bellowed, a raw, guttural sound that cut through the music, stopped them. That was all we needed. Adrenaline, cold and pure, flushed the alcohol from my system. "Run!" Alex screamed. And we ran. We sprinted down the narrow entrance hall, our footsteps echoing like gunshots. The doorman was still at his post. He saw us coming, heard the shouts behind us. He looked at us, then at the man chasing us. And he stepped aside. He let us pass. We burst out into the shocking cold freedom of the night and didn't stop running until our lungs burned and the building was a distant tomb behind us. In the safety of a new rideshare, trembling and slick with cold sweat, Alex told us what the frantic man had whispered into his ear. His voice was a monotone of shock. He said, "If you value your life, be out before midnight." They locked the doors then. For the offering. The words hung in the air. The offering. Our digital ghost, Chloe, had never existed. She was a phantom, a lure cast into the digital sea to bring naive fish to a very specific, very dark net. We called the police from a payphone, our voices disguised. We reported a disturbance, a potential kidnapping, something sinister at that address. We never followed up. We never learned what, if anything, was found. We spent the dawn of the new year in my living room, the TV muted, wrapped in blankets, listening to the empty silence of the house, jumping at every creak. The celebration we sought had been a ghost. The memory we made was a scar. Sometimes, the most dangerous guest isn't the one who crashes the party, but the one you welcome inside without a second thought. The second story isn't mine. It was told to me by a man named Leo, and I've carried the weight of it ever since. It happened a few years ago, during what was supposed to be the triumphant New Year's party at his newly purchased condo. He and his fiancée, Sophia, had spent weeks planning. It was a statement party. They were young, successful, and their home was the new epicenter of their social world. The oddities began hours before the first guest arrived. It was small things. The TV remote would vanish from the coffee table, Sophia would set her clutch down on the kitchen counter, turn around, and it would be gone. 10 minutes later, they'd find the remote in the silverware drawer. The clutch would be sitting neatly on their bed. They laughed it off, accusing each other of pre-party absent-mindedness. "You're losing it." "No, you are." But the frequency was unnerving. It felt less like forgetfulness and more like a game. A teasing, malevolent game of keep-away played by an unseen presence. Guests began to arrive at 9, a flood of cheerful noise and coats. Leo, ever the cautious host, had a couple of old security cameras. He pointed one down the main hallway toward the bedrooms and another toward the living room entertainment system where his prized record player and bar were set up. The disappearances continued amid the chaos. A bottle of expensive bourbon he'd meant to show off went missing from the bar, then reappeared, unopened, in the bathroom. Sophia's favorite scarf was gone from the coat rack, later found tied in a perfect bow around a banister post. It was bizarre, but the party's momentum carried them forward. The final straw was when Leo went to his bedroom to grab a jacket and found the large window wide open, the curtains billowing in the freezing night air. He was certain he'd locked it. He closed it, clicked the lock, and pushed the unsettling feeling down. The house was full. What could happen? Midnight approached. Everyone crowded into the open-concept living room, faces glowing in the light of the Times Square broadcast. It was in that packed, joyous crush that Leo first saw him. On the periphery of the crowd, standing with his back to the TV, was a tall, slender man in a long black wool coat. He was facing the wall, his head tilted as if studying the art there, but his posture was wrong, too still, too rigid. Leo tapped his friend's shoulder. "Who's the guy in the coat? Friend of yours?" His friend glanced over. "Oh, him?" Yeah, I think he came with Kara's group. Why? No reason, Leo said, the explanation temporarily soothing his nerves. The countdown began. 10, 9, 8. The room erupted. Happy New Year! Confetti flew. Hugs were exchanged. When the chaos settled, Leo looked again. The man in the coat was gone. An hour later, a friend's girlfriend came down from upstairs looking annoyed. Some guy in a trench coat is camped out in the main bathroom. Won't come out. Leo, now busy hosting, just nodded. He's with Kara's crew. Use the ensuite in my room. It's fine. The party wound down. By 2:30 a.m., the last stragglers had hugged goodbye, leaving Leo and Sophia in a silent kingdom of empty bottles and glitter. They began a tired cleanup, which started with a security check. Sophia's clutch, the one that had played hide-and-seek earlier, was truly gone. So was Leo's grandfather's vintage wristwatch, which had been in his bedside drawer. The chill that ran through him had nothing to do with the open window. He went straight to his computer, pulled up the camera feeds, and began fast-forwarding. The living room camera showed nothing but dancing crowds. The hallway camera was the key. At 11:47 p.m., the man in the black coat emerged from the bathroom. He didn't rejoin the party. Instead, he turned and walked calmly, purposefully, down the hall toward the bedrooms. He tried the door to the guest room. Locked. He then approached the master bedroom door. Leo watched, his heart hammering, as the man simply turned the handle. It was unlocked. He slipped inside. He fast-forwarded further. The man was inside the bedroom for over 20 minutes. Then, the footage showed him opening the large bedroom window. He began methodically dropping items out: Sophia's clutch, the watch, other small valuables. He was clearing the room, preparing an exit. Then, he suddenly froze. His head snapped toward the bedroom door. He'd heard something, footsteps on the stairs, perhaps a guest coming up. In a flash of terrifying agility, he dropped to the floor and scrambled underneath the bed, disappearing from view. Leo sped the footage forward to the present moment. The man never came back out from under the bed. The bed. Their bed. The one he and Sophia were sitting on right now, watching this footage. Leo's blood turned to ice. He saw the same realization dawn in Sophia's eyes, saw her mouth begin to open in a silent scream. He clapped a hand over her mouth and pulled her close. Don't make a sound, he breathed into her ear. On 3, we run for the front door. Don't look back, he mouthed the numbers. 1, 2. On 3, they launched themselves from the bed. As he slammed the bedroom door shut behind them, Leo's eyes flicked down to the dark space beneath the bed frame. 2 eyes stared back, unblinking, from the darkness. They had made contact. They called 911 from the kitchen, knives in their hands, their backs to a wall. The police arrived with astonishing speed. But when they stormed the bedroom, it was empty. The window was open once more, the cold wind whipping the curtains. The man was gone, having retrieved his dropped loot and vanished into the night. Leo gave the police the footage. They enhanced an image of the man's face, but he was a ghost. No matches, no leads. He was never found. The party had been a success by every social metric, but it had also been a perfect Trojan horse. The most dangerous guest hadn't been a crasher. He'd been a passenger, slipped in with the crowd, welcomed by assumption and inattention. He had waited with inhuman patience, hidden in the most obvious place of all, until the house itself fell asleep around him. He wasn't just a thief. He was a predator who understood that the best hiding places are often in plain sight, and that the noise of celebration is the perfect cover for silence. If these stories found a place in your thoughts, let the winds of thought carry more like them to you. Please like this video to support the channel and tell the algorithm this is the content you come here for. It helps more than you know. Thank you for listening.